Hwang Dong-hyuk first pitched the concept of Squid Game as a full-length film in 2008, but his script was rejected for being too violent and unrealistic, so he abandoned the project. Over a decade later, however, what was once considered edgy became fair play for mainstream streaming. Prompted by the boom of webtoons in Korea, Hwang reworked his script into a series, which Netflix adapted into Squid Game in 2021. As Hwang told THR in a 2021 interview, "The response that I got after 10 years was that it was, in fact, very realistic, that there are probably people playing this game somewhere in the world." And this brings us to the next and probably biggest reason for Squid Game's success. From everyman protagonist Song Gi-hun to the elitist frontman, every fleshed out backstory in the show reflects the real, lived experiences of people across the social strata. This is why all types of audiences can relate to the show. Through its ensemble cast, Squid Game tackles the plight of immigrants, North Korean defectors, criminals, and regular workers alike. And this is possible because of a special social class that cuts across the classes in modern Korea: problem gamblers. In fact, the show is a deep dive into South Korea's immense gambling issues. While Season 1 first streamed in 2021, the illegal online gambling industry in Korea tripled in size from 2019 to 2023. And the National Gambling Control Commission estimates that at least 2.37 million Korean adults suffer from gambling addiction. So if you think Squid Game is relatable, imagine how close to home it hits for viewers who actually live in South Korea. By tackling this real-world issue through all possible angles, Squid Game's very premise ensures that every social class is represented in the room, casting the widest net possible in terms of demographics. And finally, there's one more reason why Squid Game is so huge. As Hwang told The Hollywood Reporter, and so the fact that this story was no longer not realistic, that it was no longer absurd, but that it was something that was very in touch with reality after a decade, it saddened me a little bit as a person, but it also brought me joy as a creator. Over a decade in the making, this surreal microcosm of modern Korean society is a passion project through and through. Initially created as a single season show, Squid Game seasons 2 and 3 only happened after Hwang was sure there was a story left to tell, and presumably after Netflix threatened to fatten his bank account. As it turns out, letting the show's creator, writer, and director do what they want would allow Netflix to host the most popular dystopian thriller series of all time. While Squid Game Season 2 is the third most viewed season on Netflix at 190 million views, Season 1 retains the top spot at 265 million. So how do you think Season 3 will stack up to the commercial and critical success of Squid Game's previous seasons? Tell us in the comments, and thanks for watching ScreenRant.